Welcome. I'm your host, Julie Poole, a law of attraction coach, hypnotherapist, and spiritual teacher. This show is for anyone interested in living their best life on all levels, mind, body, and soul. My aim is to uplift, inform, and inspire you. So let's chat and move you from hoping to having. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's episode, all about forgiveness. How can we forgive others? How can we forgive ourselves? What happens when we don't forgive? And how it blocks us from our abundance, our creativity, our joy, and holds us stuck in a place that we don't want to be. This is an excerpt from my book, From Hoping to Having, the Audible version. And this is chapter 17, I think it is, on forgiveness, explaining how it can get in the way. And after the chapter, I follow it up with the affirmations to help you to forgive, which come from Hoping to Having affirmation booklet. I hope it helps. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 19. The Power of Forgiveness. What, you may ask, has forgiveness got to do with receiving? Well, as I have said, you don't get what you want, you get what you are. If you are full of resentment, anger, frustration, hurt, bitterness, and a whole host of other emotions that you hold on to because of the poor treatment you have experienced by another, you will continue to get more of the same. Like attracts like, as we have discussed. If you're full of anger because you have been unable or unwilling to forgive, you will attract experiences that mirror the anger that exists inside you. In other words, you'll attract more situations that make you angry. If you're full of victim energy, you will keep attracting situations which will enhance and grow your victim energy. I would assume that you don't want this, right? So how do you let go? How do you resolve all this negative emotion that is locked and blocked inside your body, mind, and being? It is through forgiveness. Forgiveness neutralizes it all, freeing you to move into the receiving of what you want. Forgiveness expands your heart, your love, your compassion, moving you into a more enriching life. Let me explain and give you some insight which may help you in your release, so that you can move from unforgiveness into forgiveness, and thereby attract that which you do want. Before our incarnation into this lifetime, our soul has chosen, for the most part, what it wants to experience, and in what areas it wants to grow. It chooses where it wants to flourish, develop, and expand. It is through various life lessons and experiences that this expansion comes about, and that includes that which we would deem to be unpleasant, painful experiences. You may think, I would never ever have chosen that experience, or I would never ever have chosen those parents. You did, but not consciously. This was chosen on a soul level. Your soul chose this. Why would it do this? Forgiveness is one of the highest vibrations and expressions of love. It grows us in so many areas, including that of our own power, the power to choose to forgive. It grows us in compassion, the power to choose empathy and sympathy. It grows us in understanding and tolerance, the power to be patient and accepting. It grows us in mercy, the power to be gracious. It grows us in awareness, the power of recognizing our own self-love. It grows us in self-value, the power of our own peace and serenity. It grows us in our judgment, the power to be non-judgmental. For us to be able to forgive is an act of love for self and for the other. The bigger and the more powerful the perceived wrong is, the bigger the growth opportunity is for our soul when we can, in ourselves, find forgiveness for that wrong. It is not just in the growth of our soul that we grow, but also in our personal power, maturity, wisdom, resilience, flexibility, and our inner peace, recognizing that which removes our peace and that which reinstalls it. When we choose our own inner peace over the anger and hostility we feel to the other, we have mastered an incredibly valuable lesson. We have grown in our light, we have grown in our love, and we have grown in our power. Other souls are part of the experience of this growth of self, particularly in the area of forgiveness, in multiple ways. Soulmates are often part of these experiences, helping us to grow. We may think of soulmates in romantic terms, and sometimes this is so. They can also be platonic, friends and allies, siblings, or those that feel like siblings to us. They can also be foes, enemies if you like, that have come to help us to learn resilience, tolerance, forgiveness, patience, and more. Not all life lessons come from experience through direct contact with soulmates. Many come from other souls that have, if you like, signed up to be part of our growth, volunteering on a soul level to cross our path at some point in time in order to spur us into action and expansion, or to help us to get back on the right path if we have wandered off it. Other times, it is not so much planned, but as a direct result of our own inner resonance. We draw to us souls that will mirror our energy back to us. They automatically step into our path like a magnet, mirroring back to us the energy we hold inside. They are creating in us, by their presence, an opportunity to release it and find our freedom. In other words, they are doing us a favor, even though it absolutely may not feel like it. When our soul chooses to expand in forgiveness, in order to expand in love, it makes sense then that the soul needs someone or something to forgive. A soulmate can often play the part of the enemy, the person the soul is trying to forgive, in order to aid the soul in the learning of forgiveness. Other times, these painful experiences can be not because we are necessarily choosing to grow in forgiveness, but rather it is because we are clearing karma from our ancestors or from our own experiences from previous lifetimes, balancing it out in this lifetime. Think of it like this. I would liken it to the parts in a play or a movie. There is the goodie, the protagonist, and there is the baddie, the antagonist. We know that they are playing a part, but it makes for a good movie, yes, to have them spar against each other. The protagonist wins and gains valuable insight. An example you will know of will be that of Jesus and Judas. Both were and are enlightened, you know. Judas has what we may say a bad rap, for he played the part of the baddie, and yet he sits at Jesus' side as brothers in the light. You see, Jesus was chosen as an enlightened one to come to show us and teach us the way to live in the light. Judas was also chosen, but his role was to help Jesus to complete the transition back to the light. In other words, somebody needed to betray Jesus. He had to die, and Judas volunteered, on a soul level, you understand, to help him to do just that. Judas's betrayal resulted in Jesus' death at that time and in that way. It was all planned on a soul level. Judas was not aware of this agreement consciously at the time of his betrayal, but once he returned to spirit, he was applauded and revered. Jesus and Judas were soulmates. In our many incarnations together, soulmates can each choose to play different roles in the expansion of the soul growth over many lifetimes. Sometimes our mother is our mother, other times our sister, father, or friend. Genders can and are swapped out. Sometimes our child in this life was a brother in a previous life, or a mother or father. We learn much from swapping roles, you know. Soulmates come to assist us with a task, a growth, an awakening, and sometimes they then leave if their task is complete. All is to help us expand. It is important that you understand this choosing on a soul level because it will help you greatly in moving from unforgiveness to forgiving. Let me explain a little more. Some tasks and roles are agreed on a soul level before incarnation, including our choice of parents and siblings. It is important for you to understand that the major soul lessons you experience within this and any other lifetime were already agreed upon and decided prior to incarnation. That is not to say that you do not have free will, for of course you do. It was your soul's choice to have these parents, these experiences, agreed and chosen. Once experienced, the soul then chooses new ones for the next lifetime, and the choice will depend upon what experiences the soul chooses. Often, the soul did not complete some area it had chosen to expand in, and so chooses the next lifetime to finish off that which was unfinished the last time. This can carry on over several lifetimes until the soul feels the expansion is complete in that particular area. Outside of the major experiences already chosen, the soul will use its free will to move in different directions, resulting in different experiences, which alter outcomes, experiencing experiences not previously planned. So, it is a combination of some planned or fated experiences, along with some unplanned, spontaneous experiences. In the space between dimensions, what we would call the spirit realm, where all is pure energy, souls gather with higher, more advanced beings to plan and plot their next incarnation, and who of the soul group will go together and who will remain. The spirit realm is the space that all souls return to once their time on earth in that particular body is complete. Some choose to stay there for a long amount of time. Others return to earth in a new incarnation, in a new body, as soon as possible. Memories of connections are usually left behind in the space between space, in order to prevent confusion and pain in the returning soul. They are then free to create new experiences and realities without any crossover from the past life. Occasionally, the memory veil is thin, and souls do remember. This often creates great pain, and it is rare. The remembrance of a past spouse, children, and the absence of them in this life can create a rift within the psyche of the physical and of the spiritual. Having experienced pain from another, we may often feel and believe that they are evil, bad, terrible people, people who should go to hell. Indeed, we may wish, and wish vehemently, that somebody who wronged us badly should absolutely go to hell. It is my belief that there is no heaven and there is no hell. It does not exist and has never existed. We are energy, pure and simple. Energy cannot die. It simply rearranges itself into a different form. Soul is energy, so soul never dies. Thoughts are energy. Emotion is energy. Love is energy. So, these also never die. When a soul leaves the physical form, the love, memories, thoughts, and love go with them back to spirit. They are part of them and remain part of them. Our concept of heaven is that it is a good place where love and awareness, happiness and fulfillment are one. The concept of hell is the opposite. Heaven and hell are not places, they're simply experiences, the energy of love or the absence of love. Sometimes a soul has lived a lifetime of experiencing no love. They are living in hell because they live without love. These are souls that we may perceive of as evil. They seem to have no morals, no conscience, no limitations of the pain that they will inflict. These souls, you may assume, will go to hell. But as hell does not exist, what happens to these souls? They, like all souls, return to the light. They had chosen to experience a lifetime with an absence of love in order to see and feel the power of love when it returns, in order to remember and allow love to grow more powerful and be known more. Often, these souls spend much time in the space between worlds, assessing that life and the misery they created during it. Understanding is then born, awareness complete. From that place of wisdom and love, they choose to return to another lifetime where they can balance their actions, for all will balance itself out eventually. This we know of as karma. Karma is not a debt, nor is it a punishment. It is simply a rebalancing. So, having explained all of this on a soul level, how does this play out on a human level? Let me give you an example. A soul chooses parents who will neglect them, show little love or care, concern or awareness, all because the soul is desiring to grow in resilience, independence, forgiveness, and self-mastery. Parents are therefore chosen for this soul, parents who are incapable of showing love, parents who came from parents who did not show them love. These parents may be judged to be terrible people, but as terrible people are not born, they are made. Are they really terrible? Ponder this for a moment. Let's assume that these terrible parents who have created terrible parents has gone on for generation after generation. Let's say then that the baby is born to these terrible parents. The baby, whose soul chose these terrible parents, as expected, experiences terrible neglect, and so, understandably, the child learns to hate the parents. It grows into adulthood full of resentment and hostility, carrying with it a strong belief that they are not lovable because they have so far not experienced care or love. The adult, holding that belief that they are not lovable, now continues to experience others who will neglect them, others who will also show them no love, thereby reinforcing their belief that they are not lovable. The adult's experience in this lack of love is now not only created by the neglectful parents, but also by the law of attraction. It is simply now drawing to it that which you are, the no one loves me energy that was created earlier in life. By now, the adult may blame the parents for all their woes in their life, resenting them, hating them, blaming them. Eventually, after many similarly painful experiences, the adult cries out for change and through growth begins to see their worth and their value, despite the lack of love from the parents. In time, the adult may, through forgiveness, begin to see their parents were not capable of love because they themselves were not shown love when they were a baby, young child, or adult. If the parent were not capable of love, was it their fault then that they could not show love? If it wasn't their fault, can we forgive them? When an act is unconscious, not deliberate, can it be forgiven? What about when it's conscious, when it is deliberate? If a person has lived their entire life in an absence of love, and as love is compassion, kindness, openness, honesty, loyalty, vulnerability, is it a person's fault if their actions come from a place that is not love, that which we may call evil? Ponder that for a moment. There are many levels to forgiveness, and indeed to all other emotions. There are big acts of forgiveness and there are small acts of forgiveness. Liken it, if you will, to a child's progress through school, in, for example, mathematics. At a young age of, say, 4 or 5 years old, they're learning 2 plus 2. Over time, the mathematics gets harder, more difficult. By their late teens, they're learning calculus, geometry, algebra. It's still math, but it's at a much higher level. It is harder, more complex, more difficult. Let us imagine then that math is forgiveness. You have mastered low-level, easy forgiveness. Someone hurt your feelings, and you were able to forgive after a time. Good, good. Now, let's move up to something harder so that we can grow and expand that forgiveness. Let's imagine a person abused you verbally. Harder to forgive? Yes. What about abusing you or someone you love, mentally, emotionally, physically? This is harder to forgive. Yes. What about sexual abuse? Harder again. Yes. What about murder? The murder of you or of a close loved one? Even harder again. Yes. Many would say at this level of pain, the action is totally unforgivable. But if we are growing in forgiveness, at each level, we will need something harder to forgive. Yes? So, can we say, for those that experience extremely painful things, they must be on a higher level of growth, of forgiveness, in order to have drawn to them that terrible experience? Do you see? Now, I have gone into a lot of depth here on forgiveness, and I have done this to help you to understand it, to help you move into it, to help you move past the pain, hatred, and resentment. When we understand something, it's much easier to process it, to be aware of its impact upon us, and to choose to release it, to choose another way. Many of us in this lifetime are clearing karma from past generations, and we have chosen to do this on a soul level. We are, if you like, taking on our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents' actions, clearing them through ancestral lines. In so doing, we are freeing not just us by our forgiveness, but freeing those of our ancestors that contributed to the many wrongful actions. This may sound quite heavy and complex, but it is the truth. We are in a time of great universal healing, releasing, and rebalancing. We are growing in light, in love, and in peace. And as we forgive, we are freeing ourselves from the heavy energies of unforgiveness. As we do this, we step into our own power and freedom to create the world and the life that we do want, rather than creating more of the same pain that has gone on for so long for so many, through our judgments, resentments, and hatreds. It is time to let go. It is time to forgive. Can you do this? When we hate another, blame another, resent another, that energy is active within us. As energy expands, we will find continued things to hate, blame, and resent. This does not align us with a wonderful life, a life of joy and freedom. It, instead, aligns us with a life of more hate, more blame, and of more resentment. If you truly want to move from the hoping to the having, then it is essential that you let go of all and allow yourself to step into forgiveness. It frees you, it liberates you, it benefits you. Start with forgiving you. Everything, as I have said, starts with you. You may blame yourself in some way for the thing that happened. You may berate yourself for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or for falling in love with the wrong person who caused you so much pain. You may blame yourself for not seeing something that you have judged you should have seen. Start with you. Forgive you. Then, when you can, move into forgiveness for the other person that caused the pain. You may not be able to forgive the action, so start with trying to forgive the person. Start with statements like these. I forgive myself unconditionally for all that I have judged in me and my actions to be wrong. I am choosing to forgive those that have wronged me. I am freeing myself from past resentments. I forgive all who have hurt me. I am commanding all that is not love within me to dissolve. I forgive XYZ person unconditionally. I am freeing myself now from all past pains and forgive all involved. You may also call upon assistance from the higher realms in this forgiveness. The angelic realm is a beautiful energy of unconditional love, so is a wonderful place to align yourself with. I am calling upon the angelic realms to assist me in my expansion of forgiveness. Thank you for helping me to forgive X person for their actions. Thank you for helping me to be compassionate and tolerant and to let go of my judgment of them and their actions. Unforgiveness creates hatred, anger, resentment, hostility, and imbalance within you. All of these negative emotions damage you. They do not damage the person that you hate. Let me repeat, they do not damage the person that you have not forgiven. Therefore, the only person suffering from this unforgiveness is you. Isn't it time for you to know peace? Isn't it time for you to be in peace, at peace, with peace? Align yourself with forgiveness, and peace will come. Let go of the thinking that some deeds are unforgivable. All is forgivable when you choose to align with it. On a soul level, that person who did you so much damage is and has been living in an absence of love. When you forgive them energetically, you are giving them love, showing them love, being love. You are helping them back into the light and assisting them to know and remember love. This assistance to the other grows your light more. Not only are you putting yourself in a loving space which grows you, you have also released the negative energy within you. And in your loving action, you are also helping them to grow in love as well. This is love. This is unconditional love. This is power. This is freedom. And this aligns you with receiving more love, more light, and more good things. Goodness is shining out of you, you see, because you found it in your heart to forgive. And so the law of attraction will bring you more good things that reflect that goodness back to you. Do not forgive to receive, for that is cart before horse. It is conditional. You have placed a condition upon it. I will forgive so that I can feel better will not work. I will forgive because I choose to, because I want to, will make you feel better. But you did not do it in order to feel better. You did it because you wanted to. Full stop. The first is conditional. The second is unconditional. Forgive yourself so that you can be at peace within yourself, and unforgiveness will dissolve. As you do that, you automatically receive peace within yourself, and it will grow around you as the law of attraction kicks in and brings you more peace. From this place of peace, you are love, and more love comes around you. This is compassion, so more compassion comes around you. This is tolerance, so more tolerance and patience comes around you. Can you see the way that life improves once you forgive? It improves in so many ways, I promise you. Forgiveness is a choice. It is always a choice. You can choose to forgive or choose not to. It is your choice. Which then will you choose? Love or hate? Peace or anger? Release or pain? Freedom or restriction? The power of forgiveness is love in its highest expression. A beautiful life is life in its highest expression. Unforgiveness is the opposite. Which life do you choose then? You decide, only you. I suggest that you move heaven and earth to forgive all and everything that you possibly can. Do it with the intention of freedom, of joy, of peace, and of empowerment. Do it because you deserve it. Do it because you're worth it. Do it because you can. It will help you so very much. I promise you. 19. Affirmations for forgiveness. I choose forgiveness. I have the power to choose to forgive. I choose forgiveness. Forgiveness grows me in compassion, empathy and sympathy, understanding and tolerance. I love to forgive. I am patient and accepting. I am merciful. I am gracious. I grow in my awareness and self-love through forgiveness. I grow in my own peace and serenity. I grow in my power to be non-judgmental. Forgiveness is an act of love for self and for the other. I forgive all. I choose forgiveness. The bigger and the more powerful the perceived wrong is, the bigger the growth opportunity is for my soul. I am able to forgive easily. I am open to opportunities for growth on all levels. Forgiveness serves me and helps my personal power, maturity, wisdom, resilience, flexibility, and my inner peace. I choose my own inner peace over the anger and hostility I felt to the other. I am releasing old hurts and unforgiveness now. I am healing, releasing, and rebalancing. I am growing in light, in love, and in peace. I forgive. I am freeing myself from the heavy energies of unforgiveness. I am stepping into my power and freedom to create the world and the life that I want through forgiveness. It is time to let go. It is time to forgive. I forgive all and everything that ever harmed me. I am aligned with letting go and forgiving all. I allow myself to step into forgiveness. It frees me, it liberates me, it benefits me. I forgive myself unconditionally for all that I have judged in myself and my actions to be wrong. I am choosing to forgive those that have wronged me. I am freeing myself from past resentments. I forgive all who have hurt me. I am commanding all that is not love within me to dissolve. I step into forgiveness for all. I am freeing myself now from all past pains and forgive all involved. I am calling upon the angelic realms to assist me in my expansion of forgiveness. Thank you for helping me to forgive this person for their actions. Thank you for helping me to be compassionate and tolerant. I am calling on my I am. Thank you for helping me to let go of my judgment of others and their actions. I align myself with forgiveness and peace now. I let go of the thinking that some deeds are unforgivable. All is forgivable when I choose to align with it. I choose forgiveness now. I forgive myself. I am at peace within myself. I am love. I am compassion. I am tolerant and patient. I see the way that life improves for me once I forgive. I choose forgiveness now. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it useful, please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and more, where you can leave up to a 5-star review. If you want to support my work or want to know more, please go to my website, juliepooleonline.com, where you will find details of my new book, From Hoping to Having, available on Amazon worldwide, and more about my work, products, and services. The link is in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode.